The night you feared would swallow you ends today. There comes a moment when the spiritual realm draws a line, when heaven releases a command that the powers of darkness can no longer cross. Psalm 46 is not merely a scripture. It is a war declaration, a divine announcement that God himself rises as a fortress, a shield, a consuming fire around your life. And as this prayer begins, every hidden hand working against your destiny, every whisper of witchcraft, every dark manipulation sent to sabotage your path is confronted by the fire of the Almighty. Something is about to break. Something is about to shake. Warfare ends tonight. Close your eyes for a moment and feel this. If you could see it in the spirit, you would notice the enemy's devices, spells cast in secret rooms, jealousy spoken as curses, altars raised with your name on them, monitoring spirits attempting to track your progress. But suddenly, a massive wall of fire rises between you and every demonic assignment. You're not standing alone. You're standing inside the fortress of Psalm 46. This is where the battle shifts. This is where the fear of the enemy melts like wax. Because when God becomes your stronghold, no force of darkness survives the impact. Tonight, the Lord confronts every force that confronted you. The witchcraft that drained your strength, the nightmares that chased your peace, the strange delays that had arrested your destiny, the invisible resistance that always appeared at the edge of your breakthrough. Everything gathers now before the throne of the consuming fire, not to overpower you, but to be judged and broken. For the God of Jacob is not a silent God. He is not a passive observer. He is your present help, present in battle, present in fire, present in deliverance, present right now. This is not a gentle prayer. This is a courtroom moment. The enemy has counted on your exhaustion, your fear, your silence. But tonight, heaven speaks. Tonight, the Lord lifts his voice, and the earth trembles. Every curse spoken against you scatters. Every charm designed to limit you fails. Every dark spirit assigned to shadow your steps is forced to flee. Psalm 46 becomes your law, your shield, your divine protection. And the Lord declares, "Be still, I am God. And every dark force bowing against my children shall fall." Now the close-up. Lean in, because this part is for your spirit. You are not praying as a victim. You are praying as someone God has fortified with fire. You are not entering the battle empty. You are walking into it, surrounded by the flames of the Almighty. You are shielded, enveloped, hidden inside his fortress. Before this prayer ends, the chains you carried will burn away. The yokes placed on you will snap. The witchcraft arrows fired at you will return to sender. The shaking you feel is not destruction. It is deliverance. Tonight, God arises for you. Tonight, dark forces break. Tonight, your freedom begins. As this prayer continues, the fire around you intensifies. It is not the fire of anger nor the fire of chaos. It is the fire of divine protection. Psalm 46 declares that God is your refuge and strength, a present help in trouble. This means the very moment the enemy lifted a hand against you, that same moment God lifted a shield around you. Tonight, that shield turns into a blazing wall of flames, hot enough to expose every hidden plot, bright enough to reveal every shadowy attack. No witchcraft altar can stand before this fire. No demonic strategy can endure this heat. The battle has shifted in your favor. Every dark force sent against your life is now losing its power. Wherever your name has been spoken in malice, wherever evil hands tried to manipulate your destiny, wherever incantations were made to block your progress, fire is moving there now. Every spell is dissolving. Every curse is collapsing. Every spiritual chain is melting under the weight of God's presence. What once intimidated you is now trembling, because heaven is responding with force. The enemy that thought you were weak is now witnessing the strength of your God. The Lord of hosts enters your environment with authority. The atmosphere around you is changing, subtly, powerfully, undeniably. Demonic watchers lose sight of you. Evil monitoring spirits are blinded. Hidden traps the enemy set for your downfall are burning to ashes. Where there was heaviness, there is now a stirring. Where there was confusion, Clarity appears. Where there was fear, boldness awakens. The God of Psalm 46 does not escort you out of battle. He steps into battle with you, not as a companion, but as a commander of angelic armies. Listen carefully, because this is happening in the spirit. The fire shield does not only surround you, it pushes back against everything that pushed you. It destroys spiritual cages. It uproots generational spells. It silences sorcery projected against your mind. It unmasks the hidden enemies disguised as friends. It disrupts every witchcraft cycle designed to repeat itself in your life. What used to rise against you without resistance is now being overpowered by fire. Tonight is not about survival. Tonight is about dominion. Close-up moment. Let this truth sink deeply into your spirit. You are not fighting alone. You are wrapped in the flames of Yahweh. You are standing inside a supernatural fortress that no curse can penetrate, no spell can weaken, no demon can cross. The enemy may have fought you in the past, but tonight something new rises, a shield forged in fire and backed by heaven. Your peace is being restored. Your strength is returning. Your spiritual authority is awakening. The fire is not just protecting you, it is fighting for you. This is the night where every dark force breaks. Now the battle enters its most decisive moment. The fire shield that surrounds you begins to advance, sweeping across the spiritual terrain where the enemy built his traps. Hidden networks of witchcraft, threads tied against your progress, altars raised to weaken your destiny, whispered evil assignments designed to delay your breakthrough, are exposed in the blazing light of God. Nothing the enemy crafted in secret can survive this level of fire. Heaven is not negotiating with darkness tonight. Heaven is dismantling it. The very ground where witchcraft was planted is shaking under the footsteps of the Almighty. Every demonic agreement made without your knowledge is breaking. If there were covenants spoken over your name, rituals that attempted to bind your future, curses projected through jealousy, hatred, or evil eyes, they are being shattered right now. God's voice is louder than every spell. His authority is stronger than any charm. His presence is heavier than any curse. The fire of Psalm 46 sweeps through every spiritual contract written against you and burns them into ash. No dark force can remain standing. No assignment against your life will survive the night. The Lord uproots the witchcraft planted in your destiny gates. For years, certain patterns in your life repeated themselves. Delay at the edge of breakthrough, sudden setbacks, unexpected losses, strange battles arising out of nowhere. These were not coincidences. They were spiritual interference. But tonight, by the fire of God, every root of witchcraft embedded in your path is torn out violently. Angelic forces are moving through your timeline, past, present, and future, to break every dark foothold. Your gates are cleansed. Your path is cleared. Your destiny is released. The monitoring spirits that once watched you now flee in terror. The enemy assigned watchers to follow your steps, spirits that observed your movements, studied your blessings, and reported back to demonic altars. But the fire of Psalm 46 blinds them. They can no longer track you. They can no longer see your progress. They can no longer access your atmosphere. The fire has turned you invisible to evil eyes. What monitored you is now scattered. What followed you is now confused. What targeted you is now silenced. God himself has become your covering. Close-up moment, hear this in your spirit with full power. You are stepping into a realm where witchcraft has no voice, no influence, no access. The dark forces that once tormented your nights, blocked your blessings, and weakened your spirit are collapsing under the weight of God's presence. You are not the same person who entered this prayer. Your atmosphere has changed. Your spirit has shifted. Your protection has multiplied. Tonight, God declares, enough. My fire breaks every dark force from your life. Now heaven releases the final strike. The fire shield that began as protection has now become a weapon in the hands of God. Every remaining demonic presence, every force that lingered in shadows, every spell that tried to cling to your life, every dark whisper that attempted to influence your mind is confronted by the roaring voice of the Almighty. Psalm 46 declares that when God lifts his voice, the earth melts. And tonight, the spiritual battles assigned to your name melt under his authority. The last chains break. The final strongholds collapse. Darkness loses its grip completely. The atmosphere around your life is being rebuilt by God himself. Where there were spiritual cracks, he seals them. Where there were open doors the enemy exploited, he closes them. Where your strength was drained, he restores it. Where your peace was stolen, he returns it sevenfold. You are stepping into a new spiritual environment, one saturated with the fire, presence, and covering of the Most High. The old atmosphere that made it easy for witchcraft to operate is gone. You are now surrounded by purity, clarity, divine strength, and angelic protection. The enemy has lost his access point. Every dark force that rose against you tonight meets the judgment of God. The spells dissolve, the curses scatter, the evil projections lose power. The spiritual networks collapse. The demonic altars fall into ruin. What was sent against you returns to the sender with the fire of the living God. Not in fear, but in justice. You do not fight this battle from weakness. You fight from victory, from covenant, from divine authority. The same God who parted seas, shut lions' mouths, and shook prison gates has stepped into your situation. Tonight, your deliverance is sealed. Heaven surrounds you with a new shield, stronger, deeper, unbreakable. This is not just fire. This is covenant fire. This is not temporary protection. This is divine placement. Angels are stationed around your home, your family, your mind, your destiny. Your name is now wrapped in heavenly glory. Your footsteps are hidden from darkness. Your dreams are protected. Your spirit is strengthened. No witchcraft assignment can penetrate this covering. No demonic voice can influence your atmosphere. You walk forward under the shadow of the Almighty, untouchable, unshakable, unstoppable. Final close-up, let this truth settle in your spirit. Tonight marks the end of the enemy's influence in your life, not by your strength, not by your power, but by the fire of the God who fights for you. Psalm 46 doesn't just promise refuge, it promises victory, stability, and unshakable protection in the midst of spiritual storms. As you rise from this prayer, you rise with authority, you rise with peace, you rise with supernatural defense, and heaven declares over your life, every dark force breaks tonight. You are covered by my fire. You are secured in my fortress. Your victory is permanent. Your breakthrough is sealed. It is done.